Good evening, Trinidad and Tobago. It is Thursday, the 28th of June, and it is 8:08. This is the earliest I've done a video. What did I just say? This is the earliest I've done a video in a long time. So, tonight I wanted to touch base on some issues. I did a video this morning, and I wanted to touch base on why we are so divided as a people. And I wanna quote David Rudder, who said, "How we vote is not how we party." And it's not just how we vote. He used that as a line in a song. But I am realizing, as I press the issues that keep this country back, I am realizing that Trinidad is a bunch of different races having similar experiences side by side. There was a time we were very integrated. There was a time when you couldn't tell black, white, red, and green from each other. But now, something, and I think that this is what they've been doing. They've been separating the people. They've been making sure to separate the people. This morning, I did a video in Fatima College grounds, in the pavilion. And I went there to film Fatima College and Mokoraput Secondary. One is a prestige school, one is the acknowledged failed school in Trinidad. They're separated by a street and a field. And the point that I wanted to make in that video was that it's not possible that we could have two groups of Trinidadian children so close together and so diversely far in expectations. It's like we're expecting the children of Fatima to succeed, and we're expecting the children of Mokoraput to fail. And I wondered what would happen if we just twinned the two schools. If we just gave Mokoraput to Fatima, let's just assume that was possible, and everything became one big school, like a campus, Fatima. Integrate everybody, put Fatima in charge of all of it. Would the Mokoraput have still failed? And a lot of people, let me give you all some time to say your good nights, because I realize that's important.
Young lady, here she comes, my Caribbean baby. Hey Dudu, poppin', come and talk to your man a while now. You know I love you. She's everything you think she's all about, and everything you dream she'll be. She lips can bring hot water to your mouth. She's a bacchanal lady. She will inject you with her ramache, melt you like a noonday sun. Take your starter, simple high away. She makes your milk punch and rum. She's bacchanal lady. Sweet scatter when she walk, bacchanal lady. Real magic when she talk, bacchanal woman. Won't you come? Won't you make some love? She in the rum and Coca-Cola girl. Don't try to pull she with no jive. If you want to break down in she carnival, you talk strong, you stay alive. She neither here nor there, she be everywhere. Then people say she is a tramp, but when she catch them in she atmosphere, she go shame them simple scamp. She's bacchanal lady. What if you hide behind your eyes? Bacchanal lady. Come on to me with your sweet surprise. Bacchanal woman, won't you come? Won't you make some love?
Let me get into the story, right? So some people, and I'm not blaming you, because we need to get past it. We need to get past this. We have to get past this. If we're a fiction and Tobago, we cannot blame and shame each other. We cannot. We can't continue. So some people, of course, saw it as time to make an excuse why Fatima would succeed and why Mokorapo would fail. And they came dangerously close to being racist. Everybody. And classist and elitist. Because nobody was trying to follow the line of thinking that was trying to take us down. And Mokorapo don't have to fail. Not one child in this country. Listen, Finland's school system don't know anything about dotish and slow. All children are educated together. The fast bring the slow along. The teacher responsible for the entire class. Social services responsible for the children who have difficulties home to make sure that they get access to proper education. But in Trinidad and Tobago, we don't have the conversation about why Mokorapo fails. Now, I'm telling Trinidad, that's at least 40 years that going on. Fatima on one side of Mokorapo Road, Mokorapo Secondary on the other side, 40 years. That means that there are people in this country 51 years and at least 51 years who've been through that system. Fatima and Mokorapo, 51 years old. And nobody stopped to have the conversation that no school should fail. People are telling me Fatima parents get involved, raise funds, Concordat, they get to handpick some bright children, they get different teaching, they get some funding from the Catholic Church. I don't know what is true, what is bullshit. I don't know. But why can't we level the play field? Why can't we find all the things that work well for Fatima and give Mokorapo that too? Why don't we change the name of Mokorapo Secondary to Mokorapo College? Why don't we? As boys and girls, they created Mokorapo East and West. Fatima is an all-boys school. St. Joseph is an all-girls school. Mokorapo is a mix. But they had, you see, Eric Williams had come up with a stupid idea called junior secondary and senior secondary, and it failed. But he had built junior secondary and senior secondary next to each other. So now they have no way to deal with it, so they call it Mokorapo East and Mokorapo West. What I would do is I would move all the girls to one side, call that Mokorapo Convent, and all the girls, all the boys to the other side, Mokorapo College. Because that's leveling the playing field. Or call Fatima Secondary, St. Mary Secondary, St. Joseph Secondary, Providence Secondary, Presentation Secondary. Let us stop consigning children to failure at 11. Because whether or not you accept it or not, if the children in Mokorapo fail in life and the children in Fatima succeed in life, the children in Mokorapo have to rob the children in Fatima. Because man must live. Man must live. But we're not having these conversations, and we must. We absolutely must. We have an education system that fails. Completely failed and broken. Completely failed and broken. Truth of the matter is, Fatima and Mokorapo could help each other make all those children succeed. Our education budget is $5 billion a year. 20,000 children does common entrance every year. So that means that there is 100,000 children in primary and 100,000 children in secondary. That means we have 200,000 children in our education system. if the arithmetic is correct. Because you can't have 20,000 children doing SEA every year and have less or more in the class behind, or less and more in the class above. So I'm extrapolating, making the assumption that the 5 years of primary has 20,000 each, and the 5 years of secondary has 20,000 each. That's 100,000 secondary and 100,000 primary. That is 200,000 children in our education system at any one time. And on those children, we spend $5 billion a year. So let me see if Google could help me with this. Because I don't want to make a mistake with these numbers. $25,000 per child per year. That's what we spend. $25,000 per child per year. There is 9 months of school out of the year. So roughly about $3,000 a month per child the country is spending. $9,000 a term. I don't know how that stacks up on world numbers. Sounds like a lot of money, because a classroom of 30 children costing that amount of money is nearly $300,000 a term. Starting to sound like money. Maybe we want to look at taking some of this money and giving it to private schools. Give the parents the opportunity to come out of this Ministry of Education control school system and take their children to a private school that the system will pay $25,000 a year for. In other words, if your child pass from Mokorapo Secondary and you don't want your child to go to Mokorapo Secondary, you can tell the state, I will put my child in whatever private school and you contribute the first $25,000 and I'll pay the rest. And I'm saying this because the numbers are there. The numbers are out there. And no Sam Dam, that $5 billion does not cover tertiary education. It's actually a Ministry of Tertiary Education and they get their own budget. But come back to this. Fatima College succeeds. The children in Fatima succeeds because of a formula of things that includes homework supervision or whatever. Now, I have gotten to know a lot of people from Venezuela and they say that our school system here is mad, that their children don't go to school more than 4 hours a day and they have no homework supervision and all that bullshit. They just learn their thing going through. Finland, 4 hours a day, no homework. Finland, 4 hours a day, no homework supervision, the highest standard of education in the world. Understand what we're talking about, eh? All our education system does is divide the children by race and class. That is all it does. And if we wanted to fix it, the only model that makes sense is the model proposed by the Progressive Empowerment Party. End the classist, elitist, racist division of the children. We are destroying our country. All schools should be 10-year schools. Children should go into primary school at the age of 5 and come out of secondary school at the age of 15 and then go forward from there. You could go on to tertiary education from there. But enter at 5, come out at 15, all children, and we need to zone the schools. Where you live, go to school there for 10 years. So you and Charlie and Mark and William and Harry, all of you all growing up in the same community from the age of 5. You're in class with the same 25 friends until you're 15. Bonded for life. The science tells you that. We destroy our children's most important relationships after their primary caregivers with the SEA exam. The SEA exam rips children apart from their friendships. In a time when children aren't allowed to play in the street, or go by the river, or play in the schoolyard after school with their friends, because it's dangerous. The same government that fails at education fails to protect the children. It's a failure right wrong. So all of it has to fix. But we have to discuss this. Because our system will blow the roof off of any numbers, presentation, St. Mary's, all of them set. Because our system will have all of the children in the country performing at a higher level than the best in the country performing now. Because the children would have a grade point average and there would be a national average as a target. Based on the curriculum, the teachers would know that the children have to hit, let's say 4.0. Just saying that, do not quote me. Let's just assume the national means test average for success is 4.0. So every child in the country is expected to hit 4.0 or better. And any child that falls below 4.0, the principal and the teacher have questions to answer. This is how you run a country, and this is how you run an education system to success. There are 3 terms in a year, and in all 3 of those terms, for the duration of that 10 years, every term, there should be an administered exam that the teacher has no involvement with. The teachers have no involvement in the exam. And the exact class that the children go to school, education supervisors and exam administrators come and administer the end of term exam. All the end of term exams go back to be calculated to the performance of the children, right? All of the children that do 4.0 or better, the highest performers, you need to pay special attention to them and make sure that you slipstream those kids into higher learning opportunities, because it is in the country's best interest that those minds, among the lot, among the 200,000 children, there will be some budding geniuses. And we need to make sure that those budding geniuses are taken care of. Kezia Rampol, I know that you're in education and I know that you don't agree with exams, but I want you to follow the logic of why we want exams in Trinidad and Tobago. The exam shows 2 things. The performance of the child over his or her own performance last year, which is important. But what is really important is the collective class performance. All of those GPAs together gives you the teacher's average. So the national classroom average should also be 4.0. Because we said that every child, 4.0 is the baseline. Anybody dip below 4.0, we want to know why. So if 4.0 is the national child average, then it stands to reason 4.0 or better is the national classroom average. And if 4.0 or better is the national classroom average, and every school has 10 forms, then all of those 10 classes together is the principal's average. So at the end of the term, when the exams are administered, you find that some schools are performing higher than others. So we know what needs special attention. Go to those schools, talk to those principals, identify the classes that didn't achieve where it was supposed to hit. Identify those classes, and in those classes, identify the children that didn't hit the national average. By doing that, you would identify who needs help, because all children are bright. But some children, because of life circumstances, could be being kept back artificially. And we need to know. And by administering an exam that gives us the ability to determine who lagging, so that we could intervene and see what is required to bring them up to the national average, you would find that we would be able, especially if it is a child that in the last 6 exams did 4.0, 4.1, 4.0, 4.2, 4.0, and then 3.2. That's a red flag. Something going on in that child's life. Something is going on in that child's life. Now I'm seeing that they're really interfering with the feeder, and I'm apologizing for that. Forrest, you could kiss my red ass. And I know that if you can't pass a law, if you cannot pass a law to stifle the internet, you're going to work with the internet service providers and make the internet difficult. But don't worry, partner. Word spreading one to the other. Those who don't get it at 8 o'clock will come back at 9 on the rerun. Those who don't get it on Facebook will get it on YouTube. We're not stopping. We prolific. And there's plenty of us now. It's not just me. The word out there, the message out there, the people are learning that you, Faris and Rawi, and the entire band of malcontents in the PNM, full of shit, and y'all can't be in this conversation. Come back to this. Being able to identify 2 things. The top performance gives us the opportunity to make sure to prepare for our budding geniuses and those who are underperforming, especially those who dropped significantly below their average. That is where school guidance counselors supposed to come in. That's your first line of defense. And you're supposed to be able to have a meeting with this child to find out what exactly is going on. Because for the last 4 exams, you were at 4.0 and you're at 3.2. What's going on? What's happening? What's going on in your life? Because Trinidad and Tobago is a signatory to the United Nations Children's Rights of a Child. And we, among those rights, is the right to a proper education. And I agree with the people who say that they don't believe in exams. And I want to agree. But Finland didn't go from 0 to 100 in 1 step. They've taken steps that right-sized their education system, made it integral to the community, got the parents involved, because we come into the Parent Teachers Association, that's very important. But this system, creating a 10-year school system with a grade point average zoned, means that all of these children are growing together, establishing relationships together. Generally, you would find friends together. If something go wrong, and 3 friends together, exam results dip. Something's wrong in the community. Something's happening. And this is the best way for you to get an indicator. So social services, if the supervisor of education visits the principal and the teacher to find out what's going on with this child, have a meeting with the guidance counselor. Nobody called in yet, you know. Education supervisor, principal, teacher, guidance counselor. What's going on here? What do we think is going on here? The guidance counselor might say, listen, I had a meeting with the child, and apparently her parents going through a divorce and it threw her into a tailspin. But we could recommend that she get some counseling to help her through this and make her understand that that is part of life, that sometimes things don't work out, and bring her back into the fold. So we could, and the guidance counselor could suggest that I suggest that we monitor for over the holiday season. We could bring her or him in weekly for counseling sessions and over the holiday season, and we could also monitor closely performance, paper grading over the next term, even prior to the exam, because now this child who had everything going for him or her is struggling because of a home situation. And we understand the situation. Let's monitor for a term and see if we could raise her or him back to the target. Or we find out that they moved, the father lost the job and they had to move home, and where they're living now, they have a bar next door, and the child can't do homework, can't get to sleep. Trigger social services, trigger police service, tell the bar you close at 11 p.m. or shut you down. The rights of that child is important. And that's how you run a country. That's how you run a country. Believe it or not, we do the opposite of that. We have no idea. And I will remember at a meeting in Point Fortin, one of our deputy political leaders, we have two, Dilwood Braffett and Sarah Nabi. Sarah Nabi is the head of our social development arm of the Progressive Empowerment Party. And Sarah Nabi raised the issue of a child that was sold into slavery, a Trinidadian child. And nobody knew until the child escaped at 14. Nobody knew. In a country, and I said this on the radio, from the moment you're born, you get a birth certificate. Now, if you don't know what that means, that is your involvement in the country. It says that you're a part of Trinidad and Tobago. It adds you into the system. It is how we track you. From the moment a child is born and a birth certificate is created, it should be now in a database. And that database should be updated with the Ministry of Education. Because the Ministry of Education is supposed to understand, in 5 years, expect this child. It should create an automatic entry. 5 years from now, the child born in the year 2000. In the year 2005, the Ministry of Education is expecting this child. Making space, planning, coordinating. If we have a baby boom, we need to know 5 years from now we have to accommodate, instead of 20,000 children, it might be 30. So we need to know, but we don't do that now. We pelt in store, we throw in things and call in whatever, we hit the target, and you can't run a country so as country by VAPs. But anyway, 5 years down the road, the Ministry of Education did not get this child. So it should trigger an alarm. Because we all as the state have responsibility for that child. For all of them. And it should trigger an alarm. And the Ministry of Education should contact social services to say, we have no death certificate for this child. And this child is not in our system. Did he or she, have they migrated? Or is this child missing? Because that's how you run a country. You account for everybody. From the age of birth. From the age of birth. Birth certificate is a Trinidad and Tobago. Prepare for them. Organize for them. Get them through the system to give them the opportunity for the best life they could have. Because if all 1.4 million of us are part of a system fighting to give us the best lives we can have, Trinidad automatically a paradise. Automatically. Nobody has a great life and then decides to go and rob the Chinese man by the corner. Our birth certificates, minus our death certificates, is our running census. We could know how many people are supposed to be in this country at the stroke of a computer key. In a dot that don't qualify as a county or a borough in a developed first world nation. But we don't do those things. Because the government, and this is the PNM and the UNC, have mismanaged this country to the point where people don't even understand how a country is supposed to work. They don't understand how healthcare is supposed to work, or how education is supposed to work. So I talking big shot people today arguing with me how to put a man in his place. And I want to cuss him because he shared my video and he said, this is why we had to stay with what we have because this jackass don't get it. And instead of calling him, I call him a rocket scientist. I want to see who gave X for that. I say, if you did not understand the concept that we as a nation have a responsibility for the success of all of our children, not to blame, not to shame, not to make excuses, not to castigate, not to denigrate, not to say is where she come from, is where he going. We have a responsibility that every child at the end of the 10 years primary to secondary education comes out with the best possible results of their capacity and ability. Because then, at that point, you've just launched into Trinidad 20,000 functionally literate, upwardly mobile, potentially great people that could go into any means, any type of job, any further education, because they're fully contributing members of society, and you need that. And I know that we want free thinkers. I am the absolute freest thinker of all. But we also want people to understand how things work. Because if you can't send an email or Google or you can't do, if you don't know basic IT, how to turn on Bluetooth and pair a device, if you don't understand social media and able to manage those things, if we're not there with our children, and we need to include in our education how to grow food, how to prepare a basic meal, how to iron your clothes. We need to create a nation of fully functional adults. Our education system must bring out of it fully functional adults with the capacity to go forward in any endeavor. Any endeavor. We don't do that now. The point I was trying to make this morning is not to pull down Fatima. The opposite was the point. To raise Mokarapo. Because if Fatima could succeed, Mokarapo could succeed. And I asked the man, I said, if I swap all the children, all the teachers from Fatima, put them in Mokarapo, move all the children and all the teachers from Mokarapo and put them in Fatima, which one going and succeed now? If you tell me Fatima, then it is the building. Rebuild Mokarapo to look like Fatima. If you tell me Mokarapo, then something wrong with the children who go in Mokarapo school. Something wrong with the teachers. And why are we hiring teachers who can't teach? And why do we have a system that doesn't know our children are failing until they fail? Until it is too late and all of them line up outside KFC looking for work for minimum wage minus the cost of the hat and the apron to fry fries for the rest of their freaking life. Because I swear to you, if the Fatima model works, give Mokarapo to Fatima, get the government out of it. They're failing. And they're failing at a level that is affecting everybody else. Because a failed child is a failed adult. There was a slave. Vex, I can't remember his name yet. Frederick Douglass, I think. Let me see this Frederick Douglass. He was a social reformer, an abolitionist, an orator, a writer, a statesman. He ended up in Congress, but he started off a slave. Frederick Douglass. Research and read that man. And Frederick Douglass said, it is far easier to raise functional children than it is to fix broken men. And I do not know how this escapes the rocket scientists in the parliament, the bullshit artists, the shit talkers in parliament, the 41 of them, Kamala Maniac and Mugabe Rowley, and the bands of malcontents and never-do-wells. When does the parliament get to this? Because if you fix education, and you fix the police service, and you fix healthcare, and you make food affordable, and you make sure they have more jobs than people, and home ownership for all a reality, you could stop the rest. Government have nothing else to do. It's now you could fet and party, because the people will take care of their own business from there. It is easier, far easier. You have them for 10 years. A broken man, you have him till he dead, till he end up in a jail cell. I had to mind him for the rest of his life. I think it's $20,000 a month is cost us for a prisoner or more. You have to mind him for the rest, or you have to kill him in the commission of a crime. And admission, anytime the state has to kill one of its citizens, the whole state fails. The entire system is broken. Anytime the state has to kill one of its citizens, everything broken, nothing making sense. We need all babies. A psychologist told me once, you go in the schoolyard and you look at any 5 children and you pick out from there who going to succeed and who going to fail. But just remember, the end of that road, it started with everybody as a little baby full of promise. Every baby. Unless you have a birth defect or a handicap, and even so, some handicaps make people stronger, brighter, better. I see that with my own eyes. You cannot, you who listen to me, you cannot continue to make excuses for this country. There cannot be a secondary system and a college and convent system and we okay with it. Cannot be. It should never have been allowed. All should be one thing and we need to do that. So we need to decide if we want an education system that at the end of the term and at the end of the year puts out into the nation 20,000 fully functional adults. Because if we want that, we could do that. Anthony Robbins says, success leaves clues. Make me the Minister of Education. I will go in Fatima College and I will ask them, what do you do? And I will ask Mokorapo, what do you do? And I will weigh the pros and the cons of both. I will find out what Fatima is doing that is bearing fruit that Mokorapo isn't. Because don't get me wrong, you know, children come from broken homes, children come from poverty. We understand that. But that is not an indictment, that is a situation. All situations can be fixed. Stop making people's condition an indictment. Do not make that their life condition. It should be, this needs addressing, adjusting, for this person to be functional. You cannot raise children in a family where the father beating the mother and they don't grow up to equate licks with love. They have members of parliament, a former minister of finance, whose children will never have a proper relationship in their life unless their spouse beating them. And I told him so. I told him so. You do that to your children. And we all parents. Everybody's dysfunction comes from the family. And we have to also address that. But many of the dysfunctions taking place in society negatively impacting children are as a direct result of our failed society. It is badly set up. People have to work too hard and too long to not be able to mold characters and their children's minds and to answer questions and to guide. This is not the sexiest of conversations, but it is a critical issue. And we have to deal with all of these issues. Today, a man who is a grown man read on my post about the $5,000 they want to charge us for the stickers, but they have no stickers, that went viral. I wrote on it, Banana Republic problems. The jackass, desperate for it to be a race issue, saw Banana Republic problems, equated Banana Republic with monkeys because he thinks monkeys eat bananas, so maybe that's a racist post. And I had to tell him, Jesus Christ, crack a book. This PNM education destroyed the country. I am proud to have escaped it. I have read millions of words in my life. And anybody who wants to be bright and intelligent and capable, read and don't stop reading. And it is never too late to start. And I asked this gentleman, I said, you have a whole chain of clothes stores in America called Banana Republic. You think they just being racist? That's okay, everybody else? Nobody has noticed but you. I said, there's something called Google. You could have Googled it. You didn't have to make the assumption But this is all they have to hold on to. What the PNM and the UNC has done is created a victim culture. Everybody feel somebody else mashing them down. So everybody fighting everybody else. Instead of all of us working together for a better Trinidad and Tobago, because once the boat float, all are we safe. If the boat sink, all are we drown. But there's the PNM and the UNC. Because Kamala, Pandey, Michaela, Rowley, Imbert, Faris, they have nothing else to offer you but theft and more theft. So they give you racism to keep you fighting so the financiers could steal. Kid Rowley and Kamala are part of the conspiracies to steal money from Trinidad and Tobago. That's what they do. When we say trillions have been stolen, it wasn't stolen by the Martians and the Venusians. It was stolen by Pandey's boys and girls, and Manning's boys and girls, and Kamala's boys and girls. Eric Williams' boys and girls stole your money. And Rowley's boys and girls are stealing your money now. But the entire system is corrupt. There is nobody who is looking after your best interests. All of our systems are broken. Public prosecutions, the justice system, the police service, all of it is broken. Nothing works. The entire country is on autopilot. The parliament is a corrupt and racist, divisive organization being used to project onto the people a mismanaging government, marauding, plundering and pillaging. And every 5 years, those sons of bitches exchange and pointing fingers at one another in the parliament, but nobody getting brought to justice. Not one. Pandey friends stole billions. Kamala's friends stole billions. Rowley's friends are stealing billions. And the only thing that you could do is join together as one people under one flag. You ever see how a dog, they shake off something when it lands on his back? We need to shake off these two stunting jackass parties. That is the only way. A young lady told me tonight, she said, my mother banned me from watching you, so I have to hide because she don't like that you're saying jackass and bullshit. And I had to show her that Wikipedia have a definition for bullshit, and jackass was in the Bible. But Anna Monsami, who Kamala sent to fight people, calling women the most denigrating and nastiest words. The PNM, who has destroyed the grandchildren of Africa, entire generations of people consigned to lives of desperation. It will take compassion to put aside people's knee-jerk reaction. I am frustrated with politics because the people that I am trying to save fighting me. Believe that? I saw this meme. If you cure cancer, they will tell you, don't do that. We have a right to our cancer. Don't come here and take away the cancer. This is proper PNM cancer. You're a racist? Kamala Prasad Bissessar should have been made to answer for all the things Keith Rowley accused her of. But Keith Rowley is a son of a bitch, a stinking dirty man. And he used every lie and every connive and every trick and every deceit he could come up with to wrench Manning's job and wrench the office from Kamala. Not that Kamala deserved it, because Kamala and Manning were crooks too. They are all a band of thieves. They are, listen, you are the prime minister of the country. I watched Basdeo Pandey telling Diana Kelly, it wasn't me in charge of the airport, it was Nipdek. And she asked him, so who was in charge of Nipdek? You son of a bitch, Basdeo Pandey. But you want to bring Ganga Singh and Carlos John, like 2 towers on either side of Michaela, and we don't see banditry coming? We strip it out. Without the Progressive Empowerment Party, this country have Bob Hope and no hope. Because I don't want to be the only person doing this. I want there to be better people than me, because I don't want this for myself. I will do it. But this is not my first choice. Having these arguments every single day, madness. I cannot believe that the elders of this country stood idly by and allow this to happen. I cannot believe the retirees who on their deathbed in the sunset of their days and aren't just dropping everything and walking down to the parliament and cuss those sons of bitches in the parliament for what they put them through, and the children, the grandchildren and the great-grandchildren. The elders should be in the parliament. Let the police lock you up. Go and tell them, this is what you do my country. This is what you do it. You hijack the parliament. We've been broken from inside since 62. Nobody wanted to say it. Nobody wanted to say it. We've been broken from inside. The enemy of Trinidad is within. The army that running around in the bush, bracing for invasion. The invasion happened in 62. It's in the parliament still. That's where we have the problem. Our enemy not coming from outside. And we have to say that. And we have to face it. You know how hard it is, psychologists tell you. You know how hard it is for a child to admit that the source of their distress and their abuse is a parent or a caregiver. This is why when somebody who has responsibility for a child abuses a child, should go to jail. Because you don't just hurt that child, you know. You break that child's mind. You see, a stranger hurt you, you could run to mommy and daddy. But if mommy and daddy hurt you, who do you run to? Who do you run to? This is a nation that needs to look at Basdio Pandey and tell him, you son of a bitch, you dirty, deceitful man. You misused our trust. You rode on a racist wave to separate the people, talking national unity so your friends, finances, and family could pillage and plunder. Look at Keith Rowley in his face and say, you dirty son of a bitch. While you playing the ass and playing golf, while you and Stuart Young playing with each other, Bamsi on the plane, the nation is being plundered by P&M friends and P&M family. And God is my witness. I would like to have Keith Rowley in a witness box, because that son of a bitch don't know what I know. All your little friends are going through, brother, is you. A Vex Manning dead. When I tell you a Vex Manning dead, because a proper government would have dragged Manning in chains into a courthouse. That son of a bitch. Patrick Manning was the worst prime minister this country ever had. And I forgive Winston Dukaran for his foolishness, for joining the Congress of the People with the UNC only for one reason, that it routed that dictator from office. Because Patrick Manning was a megalomaniac, a high-functioning sociopath. And if we were not careful, we'd lose this country to a dictatorship. That bitch, Manning, start with Eric Williams. But people forget, Chris. People forget. Eric Williams built a Caroni racing complex that they put down a foundation for $1 billion and nothing else ever spent. Mount Hope could have built 10 Mount Hope. Central Bank Towers could have built 10 Central Bank Towers. These dirty, nasty people. Nasty, nasty people. I want the courts to tell me I can go after Manning's heirs. I want to go after Williams' heirs. I want to go by Erica. I want to ask Erica Williams, explain this money, child. Explain it. And stand for me. Answer me. I'm a citizen of the Republic. You by an accident of birth and an accident that your father ended up as prime minister, you'll get to plunder this nation. And it's going on still. It's going on still. And people willing to take small money to sell their brothers and sisters down the river. Kijan Haynes want to tell black people everything alright with Irie, man. With Irie. Anna Munsami and Priyanka Nankisoon. Priyanka Nankisoon, who is now guilty of cyberbullying, and the team have to decide if they're going to report her ass to the police. They just want to misbehave for money and distract people who look like them to fool them. And every single night and every chance that I get to speak, I speak and say, this is wrong. This is not right. It is not right. We owe an apology to each other, every one of us. We owe an apology to each other that we allowed this to be our country. Because it didn't have to be so. Today, Chantal Mondi posts a picture of her store in Long Circular Mall empty and mashed up. 30 years the girl inside that mall selling clothes. One of the first high fashion stores in Trinidad and Tobago. Closed down now because Colm Imbert needed to stunt for his masters. Colm Imbert needed to create a fake recession and rob people in this country of their chance of life. So plenty people gone out of business and plenty people lose their homes. Certain 1%ers have more US than they know what to do with it. But the average person can't get US to run their business. And that short, gargoyle, stunting son of a bitch telling people everything irie.
Tell me what I'm fighting for. What I'm killing for. We don't need no more now. Tell them wicked people, fire up on them. Fire up on them. Oh Lord, I said this is the emperor. Fire up on them. Fire up on them. Silly boy, you're not a god. No, another one just gone. Another young boy fall. Your soul can rest at night. Oh, you's a bad man. Bad man is a man who defend woman and protect the young one by any means, lad. You ain't no bad man, boy, lad. You ain't no bad man. A real bad man just makes his own decisions. You don't need anyone. He only needs that. You ain't no bad man, boy, lad. You ain't no bad man. So sit down, rock back. Tell them I don't need no strength to defend no people. I'm wicked and evil. So sit down, rock back, big man, frown. You could have evil. If it is just my people, then fire go on them. Fire go on them. Oh Lord, I said this is the emperor. Fire go on them. Fire go on them. Silly boy. We don't need no more, there's no need. So tell me what they're fighting for. What they're killing for. We don't need no more, I said we don't want no more. I bad man don't go wrong raping woman, influencing young ones to kill a boy now. He ain't no bad man, boy now. He ain't no bad man. A real bad man works for whatever he wants and he don't need no gun, he full of joy now. That's a bad man soldier. He ain't no bad man. So sit down, rock back. Tell them I don't need no strap to defend my people. I'm wicked and evil. So sit down, rock back. Big man, frown. You put down evil. If it is just my people, then fire go on them. Fire go on them. Oh Lord, I said this is the emperor. We don't need no more. We don't need. So tell me what they're fighting for. We don't need no more.
This Saturday, 19th Stanmore Avenue, we're having a curry queue. Most of the tickets sold out. If you would like to buy tickets, please, you can message me. I'll coordinate. I'll put you on to the people. Reach out to Satish Ramsaran if you would like to buy in bulk to give to the homeless. We're also distributing to the homeless Saturday. It's entirely up to you. The funds is to fund the party. This is how we fund our political party. this and the donations of patriots who want a real change. At the end of the day, we could, you ever read the allegory of the cave? We could continue to face the wall believing that the reflection of the fire is the real fire. Or we could turn around. And that's up to us. I can't do this every single day for the rest of my life. I have already put enough information in the public space that if we wanted, we could have fixed Trinidad and Tobago. We know the iceberg is coming, but we could turn the Titanic around. Rome does not have to burn. Camelot don't have to collapse. Trinidad could go forward to be the greatest paradise on earth. We've spoken about all the things that's wrong, all the people who've done it wrong, why it's wrong, institutionally, historically, what could be done right, how it could be done right, who will do it right, why it should be done right, where, when, and how much. We have those conversations, and it's all backed up, hours, tomes of information now. And if you still choose to stay up to your waist and shit and defend it, listen, I have come to the place in my life where I accept. What happens on July 16th is a message to me. Because we've done all the work that we could do. We're outside there today, rain falling, and they're walking about in the constituencies, talking to the people and showing them what change looks like, giving them real information. But at the end of the day, Trinidad is a democracy. And if our democracy works for itself, Trinbagonians will come out in their droves. This Belmont and Barataria by-election will be two of the biggest elections in this country's history. Because even though the Congress and the people and the AOI and the ILP and the PACT and Michaela and everybody else are banned all here, the Progressive Empowerment Party, 17 months old, front and center and leading the pack. You have all the power. The people of Belmont East, you have the power to put Felicia Holder as your representative. The people of Barataria, you have all the power to put Christophe Samlal as your representative. We could do this. We could fix this country. We could put everything in place. It's up to you. This Saturday, the curriculum, come out and line with us. Come out and all the people who keep messaging me, calling me, WhatsApping me, want to talk, want to chat, want to line, that's when we do it. Come out, join us. I will be there. Love the conversations. Love the ideas. Show me what you want to bring to the table. Come, let's do it. Those of you who don't have the information, peptrinbago@gmail.com is our email address. That's peptrinbago@gmail.com. peptt.com is the website. Pep app, P-E-P-A-P-P. Pep app is our app. It's free to download and on any of the app stores. 347-4PEP is our hotline. You could use that to call. And listen, we could continue business as usual, or we could... We have to feel proud of what we've accomplished. We accomplish it. We accomplish it without the pocket finance. We accomplish it without media. Just imagine if the stunt in Gaston Street with Ganga Singh and Carlos John didn't get media front page, Michaela hugging up Selby Wilson, nice front page, nothing come out of that. The Progressive Empowerment Party has had 18 well-attended public meetings. That didn't get coverage. The Guardian gave them some coverage yesterday, TV6 interview Felicia, and never aired. I don't think it ever aired. But you know what? Baby steps. Baby steps. If the media decides to do its job, I will completely drop any offensive and give them 100%. And all we want is fair coverage. We don't want no favors. Fair coverage. You'll give us nothing more than you give anybody else. You'll give us nothing less. Just give us fair coverage and let the people decide. That's your job. That's your job. You don't have to like me. It was never about me. This is about letting the people have a choice, a real choice. Yeah? So going forward from here, we the people of Trinidad and Tobago, we have to make ourselves independent of all of these things that we think that we need to help us get to where we want to go. We have a real political vehicle now, the Progressive Empowerment Party. Our policies are second to none. And to the people who you want to fight and all you want to do is fight, look, I get it, I get it, you vex. I vex too, but I channel in my vex to fix the country. You don't have vex with me. I ain't do it. I'm not responsible. I here trying, and if I succeed, you, your granny, your tanty, your mama, your poopa, your children, your grandchildren, everybody gonna benefit. It's here for me alone. So come now, man. Join us now. I forget to tell all you. Today a journalist called to ask me some questions. You know your boy taking the questions. One of the questions she asked is about the size of the PEP. I told her we have 50,000 supporters. I said, but when last you asked about the size of the UNC, do you know that it is 5 people that own the UNC? And that one of them signs the rent and pays the bills in the Cuba office, and the rest of the people, when they talk about third force, and I asked her today, I said, when you call us a third force, you're predicating that on there being a first and second force. And the only thing that builds that first and second force is racism. So if you say that you're willing to institutionalize all Africans vote PNM and all Indians vote UNC, then the country dead. The country stone cold dead. Because you could never have a country separated by race, where Indian in power want to jam African, and when African in power want to jam Indian. You can't have a country built on that and it succeed. So if the media doesn't understand that for there to be a third force, you have to have a first and a second force, and if the two forces is two race, that's racist politics, and you should be fighting that. Trinidad and Tobago has a real political vehicle that unites all the races. We're beyond that. The PNM, Keith Rowley should account to his members who appointed him political leader. Who in Westmoreland, Keith Rowley, fired Manning and appointed you. If the people who swinging Balize over the head like fools knew who owns the PNM, they kicked themselves. They kicked themselves, and that was Keejan Haynes' work. Keejan Haynes' work was to find out who owned the PNM. That was his job. That is Fazir Mohammed's job. How much people are involved in the PNM? Not the members, not the people fooled. Could be 100,000 fooled. That's right. But the actual people who control the PNM, you never notice the 100,000 fooled never reaches up here. None of them. You never notice that? That they go no further. The same PNM ideology that made NJAC and the Black Power movement had to march against Eric Williams. So black people in this country could get a work in a bank. Because the PNM philosophy was black people stop here. Right here. But when you look at Keith Rowley in a circle, who you seeing? Justin Phelps, member for life. Rowley say, Rowley bring him on the stage and raise his arm. Clyde Phelps son. Justin Phelps, member for life. Franklin Cam, Faris Al-Rawi, that little Syrian boy, Stuart Young. Look at Keith Rowley's inner circle and ask yourself, how come at the top level of the PNM there's only one black man? How come? How come at the top level of the PNM that makes the decisions there is only one black man? How come? That is important. Go and ask Kamala, who owned the UNC. Ask her. Ask about Jagdeo Singh and Dave Tanko and Shem Baldeo Singh. Ask about them people who own the UNC and see if the members, all of them who beating up themselves for UNC and Yellow. Find out who own your party now, man. Find out what's really going on. You see, that was always the media job. That's not my job. When I say it, it sounds like bacchanal. The media, Judy Raymond, you have to ask them questions. Ask those questions. Do a series on the parties, because the Progressive Empowerment Party has an interim political leader, 2 deputy political leaders, a chairman, a deputy chairman, a PRO, a treasurer, a head of finance, a head of communications, events coordinator, party organizer. What am I forgetting? That is a well-built out organization. Come and see what our meetings are like. Come and see a real democratic exchange. Come and see what politics is supposed to look like. But what the PNM and the UNC does get is the big shots and the big puppies as meet private and then come and tell you the dictates of the party. The party, the forces, black force, Indian force. That is not how you run our country. That is madness. And we've been living with that madness for the past 56 years. It's time for that madness to be gone.
Finger up, them on the system, put them out.
Anthony Sinanan, head of PEP Canada, thanks a lot for being here. Jenny C. Paul Gayadin, always nice to see you. Martin Hater, my friend, grew up together in Woodbrook. Shamala Ramada, a very important member. Jenny Darling, always nice to see you. Sals Jagasa, a real vibrant pepper. Good night to all of you. Rhonda Smith, I had cause to mention your name in the meeting last night. When I see you, I will tell you about that. PNM Slackness, nice to see you tonight, darling. Vote them out, you're very correct. Anybody want to send a message, you can send it now. I'm reading the messages. If you would like to make a contribution and call in on 682-2110, you could.
When you're voting, vote them out.
Answer.
If it is the avarice, it's all they seem to know. When you're voting, vote them out. If it is the politics, it's just a puppy show. When elections day come, all bandits must go.
Everyone.
Register and
Fire them.
if they don't see,
Fire them.
stay your finger and show them no mercy. Put them out with total scorn and out of the state. Let's put our country together again. Put them out of power.
Terminate the reign. PEP members, stand firm, stand strong. Smaller movements like this have gone on to change the world. Smaller movements like this have gone on to change the world. We have every right and reason to be proud of all the work that we've done. In 17 months, good night Peter Farai, good night Hazra D'Souza, good night Neil Ram, our next vibrant pepper, always on the wall, encouraging people to come along. It is time for us. Warren Dante, good evening sir, nice to have you back. Derek Lorenzen, a real pep soldier. And Chris, want to share my ideas, send to me Phillip Alexander 99 at yahoo.com. 2 L's in Phillip. Kenrick Mohammed from San Fernando East. Good evening, sir. I hope you're signed up as a pet caretaker. If not, reach out to Shari Wilson, please. Good evening, Varma Sinat and Jeffrey Logan. Jeffrey is a pepper from the first day Pep was born. Imtiaz Mohammed, good evening. Florentino Lesaldo. Don Dada indeed. Keep making noise, my friend. Video, give them the information, how to join local, regional, international. The PEP movement is your movement, it is your country. There is no longer a reason for people to feel like second-class citizens. We want a Trinidad and Tobago that where black, white, red, green, everybody feel like Trinity. Jamon Scott, you have become a fixture, my friend. Missy Chin as well, good night, Missy. Trevor Bindu, get them heat, get them heat. Look the original Andrew John. Andrew, if I don't see you Saturday in that curricule, it's you and me, eh? Christine Hossain, thank you for the donation. Teresa Surratt, well, Teresa Medallion. Yes, Baliram Motilal, good evening, Baliram. Andrew Eheme, don't show me no fire, you know. Amira Nexa, good evening. Good evening, Varma. Carlton Mahadio, good evening. Thank you for joining. Insha Nabi, what I say, wasn't coming tonight. Diana Saldina, good evening, ma'am. Randy Neil Sohan, good evening. It's been a long time since I've paid respect to all of the peppers that keep this live video going. And I want to tell all of you who come out every night. I see you all. Last night I was here till after midnight and you all were here. Christopher Glean Jr., thank you for joining us, my friend. Roxanne, I see you was giving them real heat today. They want to talk stupidness. They don't know what you have, you know. Jonathan Torres Mojes, my friend. And well, the indomitable Gary Blake. Gary, you're on a plane now, brother. Gerard Hills, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. Dr. Karl March, my very, very good friend. Always a pleasure having you on board, sir. I look forward to us eating a roti together Saturday. Roxanne, I see you again, them pepper. They didn't know what they was playing with. Well done, girl. Andre, my friend, good evening. Good evening. Good evening to everybody. Good evening to all of the peppers. Local, foreign, regional, good evening to all. We have an Australian PEP chapter being formed, a UK PEP chapter being formed. It's not. We're going to do this, you know. We're going to fix this country. Chalana, the original. Chalana Birchwood, where's your brother? When you all come in, you're coming in time for the curricule? You're coming in time for Saturday? Huh? I would like to see you all here with us. The Birchwoods, I would like to see you all here with us. Yeah? Jenny, you gotta close the store, you know. Bring Kevin and come for roti Saturday. Make sure. The Pep family, Selwyn Batiste, good evening, my friend. Welcome aboard. What I want to see in this country is a tribunal that speaks to errant politicians. Come and meet with us. Steve O. the Trini has joined, my very good friend. Keith Lumlock, good evening. And the chairman of the advisory council, Kenneth Luke, is here. Christopher Glean, we have plenty to do. You're damn right. Andre have the Point-A-Pierre crew locked on. I hope you're linking up with Shari Wilson and building out in Point-A-Pierre. I hope you're building out in Point-A-Pierre. Derek, bring the crew down Saturday, you know. We're building out a PEP family. They're not ready for this. They're not ready for this. Trust me when I tell you. All of our foreign-based peppers. Be ready to vote, you know. Be ready to vote. Be ready to vote. Trevor Matura, good evening. Roy Rampasad, good evening. And Chris, you got my number, right? Lisa Balroot, Florida. The Florida team well represented tonight. Ali G, I hope you're seeing that. What about Separia? Talk to me now. Dammy Edwards, you all see that gentleman's name? Dammy Edwards, when there was 4 people meeting in Stanmore Avenue, Dammy Edwards was one of the 4. He will be a member of the PEP for life. Don't ever doubt that. That man helped build this party. Yeah? Missy Chin, we see you Saturday? We see you Saturday? Hey, Carla Jean. What can we say about Carla Jean? Baxter Cuthbert. All I can say about Carla Jean is in Trinidad and she's still going to meet me at first to go for the roti. She's going to leave Trinidad, go back to Florida and say, oh, she ain't get no lobster roti. Watch that. Anil Raja, good evening, my friend. Good evening. Christine Sinanan, more Florida. Carla Jean, you see what's going on, eh? Florida's poised to take over from Toronto. I thought Toronto was the biggest chapter. Damn it, we are seeing here, and people don't know, so you need to come out this Saturday and the roti on me. Come down here, brother. Yeah, man. Yeah, Carla Jean, you're laughing. Let them say that you say you ain't get no lobster roti. Ali G, no, I'm waiting to buy you that roti since you're land. Yeah?
To some change it might just mean a new car. Change could mean less than $1. To most change have this nice scent we usually get from the government. You see, change is something we always say, but every time we change things remain the same way. Things keep getting worse and worse, so this is what I propose. Let's change the change for a better nation. Change the change for all foundations. Change the change so that we could say that this nation here came from quite down there. I say change the change within we school systems. Stop changing ministers and change what we teach them. But things won't change despite all we do if change doesn't start with you.
JB Farrar, Reshma Maraj, welcome ladies, welcome ladies. Veronica Charles.
It's murders, killings galore, so much gunmen fighting needless war. Can't tell you stay, can't tell you go, cause this still the land we used to know. Homeless, every corner you meet, and they complimented by our dirty streets. Then we wonder why in our sister eye, why they don't let Trinis to come and spend time. Well, you see,
Sancho Smiley from Londonville. I hope you're on board.
It's greater than fixing a lamp pole. Changes about the whole nation and how we are portrayed when the party done. Who set the standards in my TNT? I really wish somebody here could tell me. It's just the same thing again and again, like we leaders don't use the brain. So change within our country. Change so the whole world could see. Change for a better future, so we don't have to depend on our next mayor. I say change within we so
Richard Mohammed, the roti shop is 19 Stanmore Avenue this Saturday.
Things won't change despite all we do. If change doesn't start with you. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Good evening, Steve Lacrage. Being vocal tonight. Maya Khan, the indomitable Maya Khan. Maya, always a pleasure to have you among us. Maya single-handedly does so much for the PEP. On the low, no stress, no fuss.
In our youth, we leave all the weight, cause in most leaders, we done lost faith. They full of such greed. Oh, Father,
and hey, do not think that you have to buy a ticket to come Saturday. Saturday is a line. Good evening, Roger Farrell. Nice to see you here. Good evening, Richard Mohammed. Listen, Saturday is a members line. Walk with a cooler if you want to drink something and line with me. If you're not interested in buying a roti. If you can't afford to buy a ticket, come down still. And if I have it, I don't know how much come in, but if it is within my power, I will sponsor. Come online here. This is a pep thing here. Bring your family here. Come out. Don't feel like you have to pay to come in. Because not pep do have a cover charge for peppers. This is all your own.
So change the change for better transparency. Change the change for better economy. Change the change so no man one day will take we money and just fly away. I say for young Calypsonians, and stop saying culture is in good hands. But things won't change despite all we do. If change doesn't start with
Warren Dante, Felicia Holland, Tony Defoe and the crew trying to work on that TV. Keita Chandler, one of the pillars of the Progressive Empowerment Party. Good evening, darling. I hope you're front and center Saturday. Make sure you're there. JC Escalante. He is the latest version of our bad side, JC. Yeah, this dream must come true, and Danny. Big up to Joseph Camacho, yes, Andrew John, well said. Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
So eventually, when things get heavy,
Kita, you know, once you work, they want you to touch down the whole place, shall mash up.
All this foolishness ahead could break this chain link of sadness. Change could help.
I wanna fly, change, fly up with this change. UNC change up, things rearrange up. This is things they get rid of fast. Let the past be the past.
Good evening, Anne. Anne Punwa, good evening. Richard Sean Duku. Some of these names, where it was. Cliff Belfon, good evening, my friend. Good evening. Renee Jemant Mohammed, my darling family. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is so nice to have you all here on board. Listen, Diodat came and take about 19 pictures with me. Every week I seen a different one on Facebook. Diodat, you're making me famous. I want Phillip to be the DJ. Come on, we go try a thing. Kenneth Luke, our chairman of the advisory council. Kenneth Luke, good evening, my friend. You are again one of the pillars, one of the hearts that beat in this party. I could never have enough thanks to thank Kenneth Luke for what he has done for the Progressive Empowerment Party. And I need to say that a day will come though when he will know. I have a special bottle of single malt scotch. It's really expensive. And I'm holding that back for the people who did it just in the trenches, you know. They helped me dig them trenches. And Punwa, yes, we're bringing her for everybody to see it. So there will be a day when we announce Isabella is coming to the office to meet all her uncles and aunties, all her peppers. So I feel like a sellout. Yeah? Tell me. Again, messages all over the place. Hey, people need to check and see if I live when they're talking. For Kenneth and the Advisory Council, Carolina, well know. Marisha Maraj, good evening. Welcome to the live. Anybody who would like to send a message, talk, you know, this is your space now Feel free. Anybody who would like to call in 682-2110, call and you can have your say. Yeah? I have grannies, oh gosh, and for sure, I think Olive went and spoiled that little girl. I think Olive went and properly spoiled that little girl. Yeah? Happy birthday to Derek's daughter. No video, you can't miss out. There will be a time when all of you all will be home. I see that. That is what we're doing this for. We're doing this for better Trinidad and Tobago, so all our people could come home. All our people could come home. That's what we want. Giles Genetti, I pronounced it right, Giles? Giles has become a staple on the wall now. Giles, tell me I pronounced that right, eh? I feel Giles wants to be a soldier in the pepper army. Hot like a pepper himself. Kita, you're saying that like you're not sure. Eh? I tell you, all she had is uncles and aunties. When I put out the picture, if you see how much volunteer from godmother and godfather, we go full up that church. Eh? Phillip, please thank Gerald Aboud for giving me a job. Gerald Aboud, thank you for giving Andrew John a job. I appreciate that. And if Andrew give you any problems at all, let me know. Yeah? Kita, you're done now. That locked and loaded. Right? Good evening, Mr. Richard Sammy. Mr. Richard Sammy is joining us, taking time out from his busy schedule, touring the world. I think he's on a world tour right now. Teresa Surratt, one of Isabella Rose's grandmummies. My Trinidadian pepper sauce will go with the roti on Saturday. Well, right. I died waiting on that and I'm going in mine too. Hey, and Johnny Chattagoon. Good evening, my friend. Simeon Somar. Simeon, you just make some bad joke, eh? Watch yourself. Nanai joking. Virginia Ramnight. Bronx, New York in the house. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening to all the peppers. Visham Ramrup. Good evening. Good evening to all the Progressive Empowerment Party members. Good evening. Oh, we have it ringing. Hello, good evening, you're live. Hello, good evening, you're live.
Good evening, Mr. Phillip Alexander.
Hi, good evening.
Calling you from St. Augustine, Florida.
From Florida, Florida. Take over the live tonight. Good evening.
Yes, good evening. Happy to hear all the information on topic of things that we were never aware of. Thank you so much. Keep up doing the work that you're doing.
Oh, you're an angel.
And we keep listening to you.
You're an angel, you're an absolute angel. I love all the Florida peppers. All of a sudden, it's more Florida peppers than anywhere I see him. And I hope Ali G noticing all the takeover. Eh? You there still? You hearing me?
No, we don't take over, but we listen to you all the time.
No,
and the information that you're getting is things that we never knew what's happening right under our nose in Trinidad. Thank you so much and keep up your good work.
Thank you very much for that, my friend. Thank you for that. Good evening, Steve, Tim Mohammed. Good evening, Trinidad Margot. Good evening, Robert Milan. Good evening, Gloria Denoon. It's been a while. Say thanks to Kevin the Freitas for coming out early on Sunday mornings. Thank you to Kevin the Freitas for coming out early on Sunday mornings. If there's one person have stepmothers and mother-in-laws, it's Kevin the Freitas. Don't get in the way of Kevin and his stepmommies and his mothers-in-law, because he had plenty of them. Yeah? The progress you're all talking about is us. It's a we thing. We have to do this together. We have to do this together. We have to stand firm. Ignore the naysayers. They will always have knuckle draggers, people talking foolishness. Ignore them. Focus on the people who need the information, who want the information. We're growing a mile a minute. Fina Khan, good evening. Good evening. Yes, we did a big education policy tonight, and I hope everybody shares it. So I don't want to run it too long. We have a couple tickets left. If you all would like to buy those tickets now, I would appreciate it greatly. Help me sell out the curriculum. Anybody who could take a 10 tickets, a 20 tickets, a 50 tickets, even 100 tickets. Anybody who can help and assist, thank you very much. Zinedine Zidane, join my live. What can your party do for that traffic in Carnage? We could put in a middle lane at the very start. Ray Fulong is one of the greatest traffic experts in the world. Ray Fulong is on the live right now. He is somebody that we could listen to and solve those problems in Carnage without having to build any mad lane in the ocean or kind of thing. Big up Dave Lux, Jean-Claude, bigging up his big brother. Yeah? Phillip, serious question here. If Pep comes into office, you still do that live every night, I hope. I hope. Because properly done, we'll have a proper team in place. Maybe even better, we will open up Prime Minister's grounds and put up a big screen and all of us will line everybody who want to come every night we there. Because this had to be a family thing again. We had to bring love back into this country. This country has been reduced to a hateful, spiteful, angry, violent place. We need to undo that. We need to bring love back into Trinidad and Tobago. You can imagine all of us gathered in the savannah and sharing and music playing and everybody having a good time. Families, the elders, the kids, everybody sharing one country. Good evening, Susan Pemberton. Good evening, Shala Sumer, Lisa Rogers, Alfonso, good evening. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up with all the names that are running up on the live. All of you, everybody, tell everybody. Yeah? Tell everybody we're doing this. Thanks a lot for that, Steve-O. Thank you very much for that. You and your family as well. And I know what you all do. I know what you all do for love of country. So take a bow as well. Sukdev Sundar, EBC. Sukdev, we have our overseas members talking to, there are people who come and monitor elections. Thank you for all the love and all the kisses, Anjani. Much appreciated. Much, much appreciated. Yes, Sukdev, we want to get election observers to monitor the ABC. In this election, we have clerks in every polling station. Brings me to this. Any peppers in Trinidad who would like to volunteer to monitor inside the polling station during the election in Belmont, we only need about 23. If you're interested, message me. Marina Butts, you in Toronto? You're on vacation? I hope you migrate, because that will make us very sad. That's why we're not seeing you. Anyway, if you would like to, anybody who would like to be an observer on election day, 16th of July, message me. I'll put you onto the party organizer. Congratulations on your beautiful daughter. Thank you, Susan Pemberton. Much appreciated. Sue Deodorine Singh. Thank you very, very much. Welcome aboard. Katie Joseph, a new regular. Nice to see you. Dan Hero, who always comes late and complains that he reached late, but then I'll see a million responses from him on the rerun. So, Terry Samedi, Boston, good evening. Good evening. Good evening, Richard Mohammed. Good evening, all of the peppers. ID Reese joined. Good evening. Good evening. I hope I'm pronouncing some of those things correctly. Katie Joseph, give me a thumbs up. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Listen, anybody who could afford to buy some tickets for your friends, for your family, for your community, for your neighborhood, for help us to give out for the homeless. Good evening, Dexter Worrell. Blessed love in the house. Pep to the world. Log in live from Edison, New Jersey. Ali G, part of your team. Anne-Marie Ahmad, a very, very regular Pep. In New York, New Jersey warrior. Carol Dos Santos Dupre, good evening. Cliff Belfont, good evening. From Maryland, good evening, Jeffrey Rogers. There's another party forming. Is that true? There's form a party a week and fail the week after. Abby Ranjan Narayan, Miami. I tell you, Florida and Miami, the peppers in Florida and Miami, if they come home and vote, we win the whole election already. Plenty of we people in Florida and Miami, we gotta bring them home. Canada, thanks for your passion and your love for country. Thank you, Fina Khan. Much appreciated. This is a we thing. Teamwork is going to make the dream work. We have to get together. Sancho Smiley. We have been divided for too long. Time to bring back the love where everyone look out for one another. And that's the point. That's who we were. That's what they can't make the Don Corinne Henry rich. That's what they can't imitate. Trinidad and Tobago, that natural we-ness that we had. We need to bring that back. I agree with you. People need to be all out in the street riding bicycle 10, 11, 12 o'clock in the night, kicking ball with flashlights. That had to come back. That had to come back. We need a better country. We need to undo and redo the madness of the PNM and the UNC. 30 years of blight. We need to get rid of them and shake some chicken foot, throw some holy water, light some candle, scrub down with black disinfectant, run them, mash, gone. And Jamie Farrar, the video on education, thank you, my darling. Dawn Corinne Henry, good night. Michelle Christopher, good evening, my friend. Nice to have you on board. Marilyn, Noyan Henry, Barack Boy in the house. Come up for the curry cube this Saturday at PEP headquarters. Yes. Love PEP. Change must come. Dr. Martin Luther King. Amen. Dexter Warren. Amen. Jeffrey Rogers. Mirama in the house here. Love listening to you. Keep it going. Fire them. Ent. Ansar Hossain. Ent. Yeah. Get them talk. Get them talk. Dawn says she was out networking today. Well done, my friend. Well done. Yeah. Christian Dad Jagannath, Toronto in the house. You see, I get Toronto vexed because we have plenty pep Toronto people there, and they're very vibrant. They're very vibrant. But all peppers vibrant. All peppers naturally hot. Yeah? Backyard ready for pep meeting. Abby, send me the message now. Let me make sure that happening, you know. Because we're coming down. Yeah? Sorry. You know, I was be tired, and I was telling myself, I ain't doing no video, I was telling myself, I'm too tired to do any video. I want to come, and I see y'all, and y'all talk, and y'all just fill me with so much hope. I just need more the video to end. Sharon Ali, feeling very positive in the upcoming election. I am too. Felicia is doing an amazing job. Christoph is as well, but I've been walking about and seeing Felicia, and she's doing a great job. Budesh Duki, keep up the fight, bro. Thank you, bro. Hope you're in the trenches with us. Looking forward to having you among our ranks. Good night, Deborah Oliveri. Good evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Derek, red crapo, yellow crapos. Hey man, follow us all. And? Oh my God. Jen, good evening.
जब से तेरे नैना मेरे नैनों से लागे
I tell you, I love this song.
जब से नैना इनशी भी है ना नौशी का
All your Satish on live there. Satish Ramsaran just joined. All of y'all who want to buy tickets for the curry cube, look me man right there. Link him, message him one time.
No people must got to fall.
And he said, where you was? Lavin Rambrook, good evening.
Just sing Naina, and she be Haina. No, she can't wine now. Just sing Naina, and she be Haina. No, she can't wine now. Naina said the jump stay well. She be Hannah, no she got wine now you must have the balls and you don't have one in the clothes. Big with the Mona tell Karma tell me be mine. जब से तेरे नैनों से लागे रे.
Naina, let me rub it for you. Hit my book, kiss it for you. I will give you my side. Right on your big thigh.
Special good evening to Reginald McQueen. A new regular pepper, Christy Joseph. Good evening, my friend. Baxter Cutler, good evening. Thank you for joining us. And I love that. If God for us, who could be against us? I love that.
Now she brings back a link for me, say, hunter of this thing for she. Naina tell Ravi.
love this verse.
Big Daddy tell Jupati.
She said it's raining, beating red morning. Wash, look how it's swelling. She said it's raining, beating red morning. Look how it's swelling.
Man, I said the jump stay well. Didn't know it dry up, she's good. And the jump stay, she's so fast. Right till she beg. Just in Nana, and she be Hannah. No, she gonna whine now. Just in Nana, and she be Hannah.
As you send books for me, I promise I read it.
No, these women start to ball, cause she can't shake, she waist at all. Just a little now, get in the just a little now, get in
I'm following this with my next favorite chutney. This is my next favorite chutney. I sing this in a karaoke. Yeah. I nearly bite off my tongue.
Rajin Najim Jim Jum Chana na 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 nazir Chana na 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 nazir को सुनाऊंगा मैं चतुरंग को गाए रस रंग को सुनाऊंगा मैं राजिंदर जीम जीम झूम राजिंदर जीम जीम झूम जाना ना 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 नाज़िर जाना ना 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 नाज़िर चतुरंग को गाए रस रंग को सुनाऊंगा मैं चतुरंग को गाए रस रंग को सुनाऊंगा मैं राजिंदर जीम जीम झूम
They well playing when they feed, so I know I should just say goodnight because they keep, if it bump up one more time, I'll just finish it. So we're taking the song and see where it
Chaturan ko gaye, rang ko sunaunga मैं, चतुरंग को
Oh, you're coming out Saturday? Everybody with Trinidad, listen, well, they can't be loving me up on the live and don't come out there. I don't care where he is in Trinidad. We're working hard. We've been in party. We organizing for election. And we still having curry queue. If we there, all you need to be there too, Seriously. Seriously. Love this song. Love this song. Leroy Callis is one of the greatest writers of Calypso.
You try with a federation, the whole thing end in confusion. Curriculum and then corruption, but somehow a spelling disaster. It's a West Indian politician, I mean you went to a big institution. So how come you can't unite 7 million? When a West Indian unity, I know it's very easy. Just only rap to your people and tell them like me, them is one race, from the same place, and with the same trip, on the same ship. So we must push one common intention, it's for a better life in the region, for the woman and the children. That must be the ambition of the Caribbean man, the Caribbean man, the Caribbean man.
And you had to get this one, because if you have that, you had to take this one too. Because this dovetails that. Dan, you like that song? You like up that song, eh? One people under one flag. All of we. Arab, Indian, African, Chinese, anything, where you come from. Once you're at Trinity, if you're here and you're with we, you're for we for you.
journey, you will see a man in a dhoti saying he prays in front of a chandi. Chandi. Then and only then you'll understand what is the true transformation. There's no room for prejudice at all. United we stand, divided we fall. So to always is here in Trinidad. Let us live as one under the sky. Charging high. Brotherhood at the bone. Charging high. Brotherhood at the bone. Charging high.
Down here, I make me laugh. And to the people who say that they can't believe the people who already know me, listen now. I gone tonight to Jiangsu supermarket to buy 2 LLB. They only had little cans to eat, to drink with my dinner. And walking in, a gentleman walking out. Never see he in my life. They know he know me. And as usual, my mother bring me up because you don't say hello when you're walking past people, you get your ears twisted. Good evening, sir. Good evening, Mr. Alexander. And it's gotten to the point now where I understand that people know who I am. But it still takes me by surprise how many people know who I am. And listen, all of you, I appreciate and love and thank you for the opportunity to serve all of you. Shada asking for our next tune. Shada is the last person to ask for a tune because if it's an old tune, you want to make noise. Let me play this. Jamon, you know what you're saying there? No, Christmas, me and my cousin Sean over. Level up Butler Johnny with LLD. It is life.
Somewhere up in Laventine, many years ago, a man had a hammer, used to follow it to and fro. He used to use it upon a pan, or sometimes a stupid man, calling in Savannah, never miss panorama. One day the old hammer just disappeared. Oh, some say that the pan is just in the air. Away the man with the hammer go. Anybody know where the hammer gone? Tell me where it gone. Can you tell me what's going on? Tell me where it gone. I want to know where the hammer gone. Tell me where it gone. Why you up on me? Why you make me grieve? Hammer, tell me something. Why you do me that? Oh Lord, well the dragon don't walk the trail no more. Well the dragon don't walk the trail no more. From April of 85, Hammer went to sleep. After years of making noise, not even a peep. He used to move with the dragon man, all through the swagger land. Always on the scene, they used to control the Baba Green. Well, the dragon don't walk the trail no more. Who holding the hammer, I want to know. How is the man with the hammer go? Tell me where he gone. Thunderbolt Williams, what's going on? Tell me where he gone. This thing like a police boots on the crown. Tell me where he gone. And I'm here by why the man gone. Tell me where he gone. Children, such under your bed. All above your head. Look behind the door. What you waiting for? Oh Lord, well the dragon don't walk the trail no more. No more. Well the dragon don't walk to run. As we gather round that day, I guess Sister Sheila said, how last night she see a sign. She see the hammer and it will pine. Same time thunder roll, she fall out, you see. He don't start the tune up on already.
Oh, you know who we talking about there? Rudolph Charles. The original.
How the man with the hammer gun? Sister Sheila, what going on? This mama again, we are heavy on. This thing like a police put on the con. So chop through the town, turn it upside down, check on top the hill, on the windowsill, oh Lord, well the dragon don't want to trade no more. Tell them, well the dragon don't want to trade no more. Tell them again, well the dragon don't want to trade no more. Booby down the back with it, well the dragon don't want to trade no more. I say you walk the trail, I say you walk the trail, you walk the trail, you walk the trail, no, no. Well the dragon don't want to trade no more. But in the back with it, well the dragon don't want to trade no more. He don't walk the trail, he don't walk the trail, he don't walk the trail, no more.
We playing music and I'm doing homework. And I tell you, I have to answer questions from media. So that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. But let me get something nice. Let me get something nice. When I say this.
It's a big dance house song, you know it is. You know.
For the longest one we're jamming in the party. For the longest one we're jamming in the party. For the longest one for the longest one for the longest one we're jamming in the party. And you're waiting on me, pushing everything right back on top of me, yeah. But if you think you're gonna get away from me, you better change your mind. You're going up, you're going home with me tonight. Let me hold you, go caress my body. You got me going crazy, you turn me on, let me charm you. Come right on around me, you got me going crazy, you turn me on.
When I get a go get go tonight. If you think say I'm not go fight, we don't think that we walk on us right. Walk up like when I fight.
One hundred on my bumper cock sky high, when it all on me, got no python, hollering for mercy, yeah. Then I was throwing her wrist line harder, and then she said to me, boy, just push that thing, push it harder back on me. So let me hold you, girl, caress my body. You got me going crazy, you turn me on, let me jam you. Go right on around me, you got me going crazy, you turn me on, girl, just hug me, kiss me, squeeze me, hug me, kiss and caress me, hug me, kiss me, squeeze me, hug me, kiss and caress me.
When I get a go get go tonight. If you think say I'm not go fight, we don't think that we walk on us right. Walk up like when I fight. It's a big dance house song,
Alright, so
you know it is.
you know I hate to go. But then the video will get too long and the people who come to see the rerun will say, how the hell we gonna watch a 2 and 3 hour video? And we do them that with the marathon the other night. Saturday is the curriculum. Help sell all the tickets, please. Reach out to Satish. If you can't buy but you could sell, call Satish and take some tickets from him. Sell them out, please. We need the money, we need the money, we need the money. Max Senhouse was a very good friend of mine before he died. His daughter Melissa, my darling, she knows. Every time we speak, I mention her dad, Max Senhouse, a towering figure. He was, anybody used to go to sell him. She can tell you, anybody used to go to sell him any kind of advertising or anything to do with information technology, you would tell them wait and call me on the phone. He paid me for this, you know, but he ain't making no decision until he talked to me. Max and I was cool like that. And we still do business. All of our PEP cards are done by Max company, Pat and Max, that his daughter Melissa runs now. And that is a Tunapuna institution, lovely Tunapuna family. But he used to say, We need the money. And I'm telling you, the PP, we need the money. So, help us now. You see what we're doing? By now you realize we're not a stunt artist pick up side like the rest of them. This is the real thing. Get involved. Some of y'all sitting down on $100 million trust fund. Gosh, give away all something now. Send out a check. Say, here, Pep, hold that. And we would be very happy to do that. So, hey, to all of you, as usual, no jam on party and done, but all the parties that go on, take another one. Take another one. Take this one.
Hey, all aboard!
It's Captain Henry here with
After this one.
Ship ahoy! Yes?
Yeah.
You know.
When the message of flagship ahoy, drugship ahoy, you don't wear ship ahoy. Every man, woman, every child, every boy, jump on the boat and sing now with joy. Flagship ahoy, drugship ahoy, you don't wear ship ahoy. Every man, woman, every child, every boy, jump on the boat and sing now with joy.
Johnny Papa, we is a must for we. Wakes me up my stomach, makes me do a number. It's me time again. School Sunday break, find me stop my partner. Just to relieve the pressure. I don't wanna sleep. I want. Tell me what you're waiting for. It's time to hit up the phone. I don't wanna sleep. I want. Tell me what you're waiting for. It's time to hit up the phone. Carnival of gold. It's time to rock this boat. Come on, get in line. Strictly party time. Carnival of gold. Time to shake this boat. Come on, get in line. Strictly party time. I say, don't rock the boat, baby. Let me drink me rum. Let me have me fun. Set me soul on fire. Let me take it higher. When I set them good, soak in me blood. I could jump forever, but this one never. I wanna sleep. I wanna sleep. Tell me what you're waiting for. It's time to hit up the phone. I wanna sleep. I wanna. Tell me what you're waiting for. It's time to hit up the phone. Carnival of gold. It's time to rock this boat. Come on, get in line. Strictly party time. Carnival of gold. It's time to rock this boat. Come on, get in line. Strictly party time. I say, don't rock the boat, baby. You took the wrong road.
Everybody just rock up the boat now. Everybody shake up the boat, well. Rock the boat, but don't flip it over. 'Cause this boat was sent by Jehovah. Straight to the black hole with the supernova. And let the rock fly like supernova.
You know.
So the boat sailing 7 seas. Across the water like 7
Yes.
seas. This boat sailing from the 7 seas. The vibes of this boat so heavenly. So rock the boat, but don't flip it over. 'Cause this boat was sent by Jehovah. Straight to the black hole with the supernova. And let the rock fly. Hey!
Tripping once again. In the sun or rain. Keep them nice and steady. And we body ready. When I start to jam, rock the boat and slow. All up what we betting. All up what we spending.
Thank you, lovies. It has to come to this because it is 10:15. So, all we had to go in bed and sleep. Thank you all for being here with me tonight. We talked about some good stuff tonight. Let us start to work together to break down the fences that divide us. You see, all the people who want to talk all the race talk and all the drama, we ain't need no more drama. We need love. What this voice say? This is the year for love. And this is the year for love, indeed. We will go out on that because we will go out on voice. I know I played it earlier, but still, let's meet you. One of the After this.
Tell me what I'm fighting for. Who am I killing for? We don't need no more of the giant wicked people. Fire the Monday. Fire the Monday. Oh Lord, I said this is the year for love. Fire the Monday.
tomorrow, we're going to do a line. In fact, that's why we should have been playing all this music. So tomorrow, I will see you. Stay safe, Trinidad and Tobago. Share this live video. Share it with all your friends. Those of you who didn't get it live, catch it on the rerun. It was a real nice video. Thank all of you who were here. All of you who stopped in to say goodnight. Love all of you. See you tomorrow. Don't forget. PEP Curry Q this Saturday, 19 Stanmore Avenue. It's going to be a nice line. It's going to be lit. You don't have to have a ticket to come. The ticket is a donation to the party. But you're going to come through anyway. Everybody is our guest. And we look forward to seeing you all. Love to you and your family. Stay safe, Trinidad and Tobago.